You check your bank account. It says $1,842. You've been trying to save for months, maybe years. Every time you get close to $3,000, something happens. Car repair. Unexpected bill. A trip you had to take. A random Amazon phase at 1:30 a.m. And you start thinking, how do people even get to $10,000? Meanwhile, on YouTube, someone is talking about their first $100,000 like it's just normal. And you're sitting there thinking, that's literally not my reality. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. My name is Ethan, and I spend way too much time thinking about wealth building, compounding, and the psychology of money. If you're someone who feels stuck financially, struggling to save your first serious chunk of money, or wondering why progress feels painfully slow, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today we're going to break down why your first $10,000 feels impossible. But why $100,000 once you get there starts to feel almost inevitable. And here's the thing, it's not about intelligence. It's not about luck. It's not even primarily about income. It's about physics, financial physics, the brutal reality of the first $10,000. Let's start with something uncomfortable. According to Federal Reserve data, nearly 37% of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense with cash. $400. So if you're struggling to hit $10,000, you're not broken. You're normal. But normal isn't where we want to stay. Here's what most people don't realize. The first $10,000 isn't hard because of math. It's hard because of behavior. If you make $50,000 a year and manage to save 10%, that's $5,000 per year. In 2 years, you're at $10,000. That doesn't sound impossible. But in real life, rent goes up. Groceries spike. You justify eating out. You upgrade your phone. You convince yourself you deserve things. The first $10,000 is you fighting your own identity. Why it feels so slow. Let's talk numbers. If you have $0 invested and you save $500 per month, after 12 months you have $6,000, ignoring interest. After 20 months you cross $10,000. That's almost 2 years. 2 years feels long. And here's the psychological trap. Humans dramatically overvalue immediate comfort and undervalue delayed reward. Behavioral economists call this present bias. We'll choose $100 today over $120 next month, even if it's irrational. Now apply that to skipping investing, skipping saving, and delaying financial discipline. The first $10,000 requires you to delay gratification repeatedly, without seeing meaningful results for a while. That's painful, because there's no dopamine hit. Why $100,000 feels different. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you hit $10,000 and invest it at a 7% annual return. In 1 year, that's $700. Not life-changing. But if you have $100,000 invested at 7%, that's $7,000 per year. Without adding anything, that's $583 per month. Just from the money working. Now you're starting to feel momentum. And momentum changes psychology. Here's what most people don't realize. At $100,000, compounding becomes visible. At $10,000, it's still invisible. And humans struggle to stay motivated when results are invisible. The compounding illusion. Let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine pushing a massive flywheel. At the beginning you push. Nothing happens. You push again. Barely moves. You push again. Still heavy. That's $0 to $10,000. But eventually, it starts moving. And once it's spinning, each push does more. That's $100,000. Warren Buffett famously earned the vast majority of his wealth after age 50. Not because he suddenly became smarter. Because compounding had time and scale. The identity shift. Now you might be thinking, okay Ethan, that sounds great. But I can barely get to $5,000. Fair. Here's the real secret. The first $10,000 isn't about the money. It's about building the identity of someone who doesn't consume everything they earn. Your rewiring. Your spending habits. Your impulse control. Your social comparison. Your emotional reactions to money. That's exhausting. But once you've built that identity, going from $10,000 to $20,000 is easier. From $20,000 to $50,000? Even easier. Because you're no longer fighting yourself. The math nobody talks about. Let's do some simple math. If you invest $500 per month at 8% annual return, after 5 years, about $36,000. After 10 years, about $91,000. After 15 years, about $173,000. Notice something? The jump from 10 to 15 years adds over $80,000. Time plus consistency becomes explosive. But most people quit before year 3. Why? Because they don't see dramatic change early. The emotional dip. There's something I call the $3,000 wall. Almost everyone hits it. You save a few thousand. Then, you dip into it for a trip. You justify a bigger purchase. You lose motivation. Because your brain says, this isn't life-changing anyway. That's the emotional dip. And if you break through that, you're ahead of most people. The 3 phases of wealth building. Phase 1, survival. $0 to $10,000. Behavior building. Frustrating. Slow. Discipline heavy. Phase 2, stability. $10,000 to $100,000. Compounding starts becoming visible. Motivation increases. Phase 3, acceleration. $100,000 plus. Returns start rivaling contributions. At $200,000 invested at 8%? That's $16,000 per year. That's $1,333 per month. Now your money is working almost like a second job. That's when $300,000 doesn't feel crazy. Why most people never reach $100,000? It's not income. It's consistency. The median household income in the US is around $74,000. If someone saves 15%, that's over $11,000 per year. In 9 years, that's nearly $100,000 before investment growth. But most people don't save 15%. Lifestyle inflation eats raises. Every time income goes up, spending goes up. And here's the trap. When your lifestyle expands to match your income, you reset to zero leverage. The lever that changes everything. Let me challenge you. Instead of asking, how do I get rich? How do I get to $10,000 as fast as possible? Because the discipline required to hit $10,000 is the same muscle required for $100,000. Cut $300 per month in expenses. Increase income by $300 per month. That's $600 extra per month. In 1 year, that's $7,200. Now you're almost at $10,000 in 16 months. Speed builds belief. Belief builds consistency. Consistency builds wealth. The psychological turning point. This is where it gets powerful. When you hit $10,000, something shifts. You realize, oh, I can do this. It's no longer theoretical. It's evidence. And evidence rewires identity. You stop thinking, I'm bad with money. You start thinking, I'm someone who builds money. That identity shift compounds faster than interest. Action plan, your first $10,000. Step 1, automate savings immediately after payday. Step 2, track spending for 30 days. Step 3, eliminate one recurring expense permanently. Step 4, increase income, even $200 more per month matters. Step 5, invest once emergency savings is built. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need 17 side hustles. You need consistency. The inevitable effect. Once you hit $100,000 invested. At 8%, that's $8,000 per year. If you're adding $1,000 per month, $12,000 per year, your total growth becomes $20,000 per year. Now $200,000 is only 5 years away. And $300,000 comes faster than the first $10,000 did. That's why people say, the first $100,000 is the hardest. But honestly, the first $10,000 is the psychological war. $100,000 is the math. Closing motivation. If you're sitting at $1,842 right now, or $5,300, or even $0, you're not behind. You're just early. The first $10,000 feels impossible because you're pushing the flywheel from a dead stop. But once it spins, momentum becomes your ally. Your first $10,000 builds discipline. Your first $100,000 builds freedom. And the person you become on the way there? That's the real asset. If this video helped you see money differently, hit the like button so more people can break out of this stuck at zero phase. Subscribe to Growth Success Path if you want practical, no BS strategies about building real wealth step by step. And comment below. What's your current number? Because whatever it is, it's just the starting point. I'll see you in the next one.